In that case, you should just keep picking commoners like me for all the important jobs. Strength in numbers, right? The more of us there are, the less anyone will be able to complain.
I believe your point to be a sound one, but putting it into action will only heighten our chance of failure. Try as you may to troll a river for jewels, you will most often find yourself hauling up mere pebbles instead.
I get what you mean, I think. Accidentally picking the wrong person could really hurt the Emperor's reputation.
And provide the perfect opening for nobles who want nothing more than for commoners to be kept in their place. An utter disgrace. Here we stand amidst the flames of war, yet some on our side only seek to drag their compatriots down. There is no rot as fetid as that which plagues our foul aristocracy. It would not surprise me if they breathed noxious fumes.
He's probably right, actually. Actually, I would probably go he must be exaggerating, but we'll go with this one.
I guess they are pretty bad when you put it that way.
At any rate, it seems you must be the one to plow forward, for the time being.
Come again?
You are a mercenary, Captain, no? Surely there are worthy candidates for promotion among your subordinates. The situation would be far less volatile if any potential appointees came with your direct endorsement.
Oh good, no pressure at all. And if the person I pick doesn't work out?
Assuming they are not wholly indefensible, we would do our utmost to shield them from criticism. Though I suppose if worst came to worst, we would be forced to sever ties with them. And you.
That's cold-blooded, Hubert. I'm not sure I'm up to the challenge, knowing what's at risk.
Nobody is forcing you to pick someone. If you think it impossible, I will not try to convince you otherwise.
Right, got it. I guess in the meantime, I'll let you know if I think of anyone who might be able to handle the job. And oh, let's keep the whole severing ties thing to the real worst-case scenario, okay? You might look the calm and logical type, but I know your emotions can get the better of you sometimes.
You got called out.
Keener insight than I expected. Perhaps you truly are the right person for this task. Quite the eye you have on you.
Thanks. My vision's not too bad, I guess.
Now, if you could only pair it with some intellect, we would have a true wonder on our hands.
Now, time for a break. Let us concentrate our efforts on rousing conversation. Afterwards, I say we reward ourselves with a gripping training session and crown the evening with a meal well-deserving of our ravenous appetites. Is something amiss?
I don't know. It feels like you might be leaning a little too hard on the whole giving your all thing. You didn't used to be like this. I know you want to do your best, but it's starting to feel like I can't even relax when I'm with you.
Perhaps you are right. I have been feeling rather restless lately. I suppose seeing my father locked away in that dungeon made me feel the need to accomplish something. At times like these, devoting myself fully to what few things I can do is all that keeps me going. Otherwise, I would simply succumb to the reality of how powerless I truly am. The pressure is immense.
Now that you mention it, I think I finally know what was feeling off about you. It's that pressure forcing you to keep your guard up, like you're constantly braced for the worst. Take your breaks, for example. It never looks like you're doing anything even resembling relaxing. I wouldn't worry about your father, though. I know you'll find the right solution.
I appreciate your counsel. I feel as though I have gained some valuable new insight into myself. After all, one can hardly notice the changes they undergo as they happen. It seems partnering with you is the right decision. Your advocacy for maximal effort continues to be an inspiration.
Oh, I wasn't really trying to give you advice or anything, and that's definitely not what I'm advocating for. But if what I said helped, then I'm glad I could be there for you. I just hope you can start cutting yourself a little slack. Your future's bright, Ferdinand.
A veritable wellspring of advice as always. I am deeply obliged.
As long as you're feeling better. I mean, war councils are grim already, but they'd be practically unbearable with you sulking around the place. And really, it was nothing. Just here to help.
Nothing? If ever there is a time to give it one's all, it is when expressing gratitude. It seems you could learn something from me as well. And just you watch. I swear on the Iron Name, I will surpass my father in the most stunning fashion.
He's never gonna learn, is he?
Ah, it's you. How's it going? Any developments to report?
You mean with my power? Not really, no.
Perhaps using it regularly won't be enough to provoke growth. Good to know.
Hey, I thought you said you weren't interested. I mean, how many times are you gonna come ask me if anything's changed before you're happy?
Weren't you the one so keen on piquing my interest? I only wanted to check how that was going. If you don't think it's possible, just tell me and I'll stop asking.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely not happening.
What? But this was all your idea. How cruel of you to stoke my excitement only to back out at the first sign of adversity. Come on, just keep trying a little longer. How about this? Describe the circumstances in which you first awakened to your power. Maybe we can reproduce the situation and see if lightning doesn't strike twice.
Well, I was staring death in the face when it happened. I'd been beaten so badly, I could barely stand. But I kept telling myself I wasn't ready to die yet. Then out of nowhere, it just came to me.
I suppose we shouldn't try to recreate those conditions. Nobody wants a dead officer on their hands. Let's consider some other potentially relevant factors. Who was your opponent? Where did the struggle take place? What time of day was it? Do you think your emotions played any part in it?
I was fighting the Ashen Demon, of all people. I hope we get the chance to cross swords again someday. As for the when and where, we were in a forest at night. Pretty sure it was a full moon, too. And that leaves my emotional state. But I don't know how I could replicate the intense emotions of being at the brink of death like that.
I see. That context would prove quite tricky to simulate. And if your power functions similar to a crest, revealing itself even when you don't intend it, that leaves only one option. Observing you on the battlefield at all times. This is turning out to be more work than I signed up for.
Hey, weren't you telling me not to give up just a second ago? If I can do it, then so can you.
I'm not so sure.
Wow, that was amazing! You really know your way around a sword!
Oh, hey, Caspar. You were looking pretty good yourself. Wait, haven't we had this conversation before?
I don't know. Must be because you're always sweeping the floor out there. Looks like I've still got my work cut out if I ever want to catch up to you.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
You catch up to me? If anything, I'm the one who has some ground to make up.
That's nice of you to say and all, but it's not gonna stop me. I'm never slowing down. Anyway, let's get back to training. I'm gonna really knock your socks off this time.
Bring it on! Actually, hold on a sec.
Come on, what's the big idea? You trying to throw me off my game?
That's not it. I was just thinking, we've been training together a lot lately. But if we're doing all the same drills at all the same intensity, then aren't we just gonna get stronger at the same rate? Nobody's closing any gaps, that's for sure.
Oh, you do have a point. Yeah, definitely have a point. But you know what? I don't care.
You don't?
Nope. I mean, I don't want to run off and do some cool secret training without you. Sounds boring if you ask me. Or sorta cheating? I want to face you head on. Same drills or not, I'm gonna blow past you no problem. Well, you fired up now?
Fired up? Friend, I'm the flames. And trust me, you're about to get burned.
Only one way to find out, and I'm putting my bet down on old Caspar.
It's incredible just how focused you are, Caspar. I'm honestly kinda impressed. There aren't many people like you joining up with mercenary groups, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah? I'd have no idea myself. But hey, let's both give this our best shot. The tougher we get, the quicker we can end this war once and for all.
And at the end of the day, that's the goal here. Let's never lose sight of that. Bernadetta, what's wrong? Is there a rat in the base?
Wait, a rat? Nobody told me about a rat! Oh no, oh no, oh no! It's gonna nibble on all my snacks!
Hey, calm down. I didn't mean a real rat. I was talking about an enemy spy or something.
Oh, right. Anyway, it's something kinda like that, but different and still really, really bad.
Kind of like a spy, but different? Slow down and tell me what you saw.
Well, you see, there was this lady in the camp earlier who didn't look scary at all and even seemed kinda nice.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Shyness and fear of strangers got you down, huh? Let's see if I have something that can help.
Thanks.
I think I've got just the herb. It's gonna put you out a good few gold coins, but this baby will do wonders for relieving stress. And then... I've got something a little more, shall we say, tasteful. Real under-the-table kind of stuff. It's a pot that makes people like you. I would probably recommend against it, but the thing's on sale if you really want it. You okay there?
I just remembered something. Oh, how could you forget, Bernie? There are lots of scary people out there who pretend to look nice just so they can prey on you. And you must be one of them!
Well, that was weird. I'm not that scary, am I?
And that's how it all happened. I would have been dragged off and murdered if it wasn't for you!
But wasn't that just Anna? She's here all the time selling her wares. I mean, not all of it's the most reputable stuff, but I don't think she's trying to cheat anyone. And she's definitely not a murderer. This is all my fault. I should go apologize to her later.
Huh? She's not evil?
Not that I know of. I'm also pretty sure it's not the first time you've met her.
I don't know. I'm bad with faces.
You're pretty judgmental, you know that?
Huh?
What do we do? What do we do? How about this? There's this merc I've got in my crew. A real terrifying-looking hunk of muscle. Sweetest little teddy bear on the inside, though. If anyone's gonna help you overcome this, it's him.
Okay, I accept this challenge. You've got this, Bernie.
And that reminds me, I actually found myself at a noble's tea party not too long ago.
Oh, you must be talking about Ferdy, right? He does love his tea.
No. It happened while I was doing some work as a bodyguard. The nobles who threw the party even gave me a cup of tea to show their appreciation. I didn't really know what to make of it, though. Hard to say if it was even good or bad.
Understandable. Settings like that tend to choke the flavor out of any food or drink you happen to come across, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm built for all that fancy stuff. Hey, remember when I asked you to sing for me? You belted out a verse from one of your operas. It kinda reminded me of that tea. It's like, I just don't have the background for that sort of stuff. If you don't grow up in it, you're not gonna get it.
Everyone has a right to those things, though. Taking in a tragic opera, letting an elegant meal dance across your taste buds. Nobody should be excluded from those pleasures just because they were born a commoner.
It'd be good if that's how things worked.
You think it's not?
Take my time back as a mercenary. I would have gladly eaten a half-cooked rat if it meant I was getting food in my belly. It's only since I joined up with this army that my palate's become a little more discerning. What I'm saying is, if you never have the chance to eat good food, then you'll never know what good food is supposed to taste like. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but...
In that case...
Dorothea?
Oh, sorry. I got a bit caught up in my thoughts there. But I think it might be just as you say. Will you indulge me for a moment?
Sure, what's on your mind?
When I first started singing, I did it for me. Only me. But it wasn't long until Manuela discovered my gift. So, I joined the opera company. It felt... incredible. I wanted the whole world to hear my singing. But once I became a songstress, I started attracting more and more attention from the nobles. Before I knew it, I wasn't singing for myself anymore. I was singing for them. Now you can't even appreciate my songs if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
That might be true, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. So many people would kill to be able to do what you can do. So don't belittle yourself like that. Your singing is incredible, Dorothea.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I still can't help but wonder.
Excuse me. May I ask for your ear?
Sure thing. What's on your mind?
I have the desire to be learning more about mercenaries. It is a subject of much fascination to me.
Sure, I guess. But I think you've heard most of the exciting bits by now.
Nonsense. Each word you speak is full of excitement. Please give me more illumination. For example, are you receiving payment for your work here?
Sure, me and Edelgard have a contract. Lucrative one too, as these things go. Guess the boss thinks pretty highly of me.
You said money was of importance for people who sell their swords. But what if an enemy offered a bigger payment? Would you be taking it?
It really doesn't give you the option to say yeah.
You need more than that to get a true merc to switch sides. Still, if an enemy can outbid your current employer, it means they've got a good shot at winning. And nobody who enjoys breathing wants to wind up on the losing side.
So in Fodlan, one must try to be allies with the side that has more richness?
See, that's the thing. Trust is its own currency, too. I mean, let's say someone shows up with a pile of gold and asks you to switch sides. Tempting, right? But you gotta be careful. You could take them up on their offer, only to learn that the money was just bait, and the guy actually wants you dead. And to make things worse, the honest employer you just stabbed in the back now knows you're as reliable as a three-legged horse. Point is, integrity means more to a mercenary than money. Probably should have led with that, actually.
I have understanding. Trust is of importance to everyone, but that has even more truth for a seller of swords.
You got it. Oh, and trust me, folks who hire for the best jobs make sure to know everything about you before extending the offer. But there's a flip side to that coin. If you're the type of employer who likes to leave mercs in the lurch, you better believe that word'll get around. Hard enough to stay alive without that nonsense.
That is a thing we all share in common. We wish to keep breathing, as you said. And what if I was offering a job? We are on the same side. Would that be betrayal? Bridget is a land of richness. We can offer much in exchange for the selling of your sword.
Sounds tempting, but I can't. I've got to see my current contract through first. Also, didn't we just get done discussing how terrible it is to abandon a job before it's done?
I knew you would be declining. You are the model of a mercenary.
You wanted to talk, Monica? This is an interesting choice of location.
I hear you've been going above and beyond lately. That you perform miracles each time you set foot on the battlefield.
Why are you complimenting me all of a sudden? I mean, things have been going well, but...
Oh, I assure you, I have no ulterior motive. You've helped me out a great deal too, after all. Even Her Majesty praises your fine work. She talks about you so much, in fact, I'm more than a little sick of hearing your name.
Huh. She talks about me that much? Wait a sec. You aren't jealous, are you? That wouldn't make any sense.
Indeed, it wouldn't. Why in the world would I be jealous of you? After all, you are merely Her Majesty's subordinate. Your relationship will never transcend the bounds of master and servant. It will never reach the depths of meaning that Her Majesty and I share.
So you are jealous?
In what way? I am merely telling you the truth as I see it. It never even crossed my mind how irritatingly close you and Her Majesty are. Not once.
Yeah, you basically just admitted it.
I certainly did not.
You did. You said you were jealous that Edelgard and I are so close.
The word jealous never traversed my lips.
You sure you're not, though?
Perhaps a little.
That's what I thought.
But so what if I am? I have always been Her Majesty's most devoted admirer. Hubert is one thing, but you're just a run-of-the-mill mercenary. To think Her Majesty has uttered your name more times than she has mine, it makes me want to scream my lungs out.
You've been counting? Why even keep score? It's not a contest. All this worrying is just gonna stress you out.
It's no good. I still keep track even if I'm not worried. I cannot help it. I can't believe it has come to this. I have no other choice but to ask for your help.
What's come to what now?
I will just have to show you. Come on, let's go.
Needless to say, that is the only logical course of action. Excuse me, are you even listening?
Yeah, I totally am. You're gonna save this prince who's being held captive by some evil cult of sorcerers in order to restore House Nouvelle?
That is not even remotely close to what I said. Where has your mind been this whole time? Creating new magic, charting unknown sorcery waters. Therein lies the means to make my dream a reality. To that end, I have decided that you will make a most fitting test subject for my research.
No thanks.
What reason could you possibly have to refuse? Do you not want the honor of helping House Nouvelle regain its former glory?
I don't mind lending a hand, but I'm not so keen on being a test subject. You don't even know what'll happen. Wouldn't it make sense to experiment on yourself first?
Huh. A rather astute deduction for one such as yourself. However, there is one critical flaw in your reasoning. Were I to do as you propose, I would be unable to properly observe the results with my own eyes.
Well then, you'll just have to be patient until someone volunteers. We'd have a big problem on our hands if something happened to me before the next battle, right? Actually, that probably goes for everyone.
I suppose you are correct. But then, my research has reached an impasse.
I guess so. Okay, how about this? since we're at war, why not try and distinguish yourself in battle? You could still conduct your research at the same time. Combat's more my wheelhouse anyway. In fact, we could even start right now with some training. What do you say?
I respectfully decline. While I am not entirely opposed to the idea of military prestige, I am unable to accompany you at this time. Training at night will surely suffice.
At night? But you won't have enough time if you don't train during the day. You're not planning on pulling all-nighters, are you?
Oh, please! I am not that foolish! I simply do not wish to train at this very moment.
If you work out at night, that means you're going to bed right after. That's gonna reduce the quality of your sleep. You'll wake up sluggish the next morning, which will drag you down all day. It'll turn into a vicious cycle. See what I mean?
My! I never expected you to put forth such an eloquent counter-argument. Be that as it may, I have my reasons. Reasons that I, unfortunately, cannot ignore. Nevertheless, I shall succeed in all my endeavors, be they magical or military, and I shall do it all in my own way.
Yuritsa? What's wrong?
Not here, either.
Hey, hold on. If you're looking for someone, I'd be more than glad to help.
Leave me be.
Friendly as ever, I see. Guess you weren't much different back when you were a professor, either. Why don't you let me help you? You seem worried.
How could you tell?
You're not exactly hiding it. You nearly busted the chapel door clear off its hinges.
I'm looking for someone. She is injured.
Huh? Did someone go missing from the infirmary? Wait, are you talking about an enemy?
Not an enemy. However, she fled when she saw me.
Well, then why would she run? Oh, I get it. Was it Bernadetta?
Not her. Though, the one I seek was likely frightened by me as well.
Well, you're not really the most approachable guy. There's kind of this murdery aura about you. Like, if I let my guard down for even a second, it'd be the last thing I ever do.
That is not my intention.
I know that, but you'd probably still scare the life out of someone who's already jumpy. Even a beast would turn tail and run if it caught sight of the Death Knight.
Then, what would you suggest? I will never capture her at this rate.
Why don't you just let me help you? You know, strength in numbers and all that. She wouldn't be able to get away if there are two of us out looking.
It is vexing when she flees, yes. But this matter does not require assistance. Time is wasting. I must go.
Wait, Yuritsa? Is he really gonna be okay?
And what of the Archbishop's movements?
She has established herself in Camulus. a town south of Ferdiad, and shows no indication of leaving. The Knights of Ceres occasionally go to the front, but the Archbishop appears content to remain behind. A shame, really.
Well, we expected as much. It's unlikely that we'll have the opportunity to eliminate her without mounting a full-scale invasion of Blaidd territory.
We should have surrounded Garrick Mach and torn the place apart when we had the chance, no matter the cost to us. We may have squandered our greatest chance by not doing so.
Hubert, that idea came from Lord Arundel. That is to say, Tallis. And it's an impractical idea, at that. One based on unreliable experimental assets that had never been tested in battle. Besides, after breaking ties with him and his allies, we lacked the military capability to carry out an operation on such a scale.
True on both counts, Your Majesty. We took such bold steps to excise those who slither in the dark from the Empire, knowing full well the price we'd pay. Though it meant allowing the Archbishop to escape our grasp, I would venture to say that we ultimately came out in a better position because of it.
Unquestionably so. I'm certain Tallis and his ilk are dreaming up some villainy as we speak. But we're not beholden to them anymore. We are no longer complicit in their schemes.
I could not care less what I am or am not complicit in, Lady Edelgard. But I agree, you must not be. For your own sake and the sake of the Empire, it is vital that you remain unsullied and unencumbered.
When I proposed such drastic changes to our plan 2 years ago, I did so against your best counsel. And yet you made it work every step of the way. None of us would be where we are today if not for you, Hubert. I cannot thank you enough.
This is quite unlike you, Your Majesty. Are you feeling unwell? I assure you I feel ever appreciated. There is no need for you to speak such words aloud. Or perhaps this is meant to soften the blow of yet another drastic change of course?
Nothing like that, I assure you. I simply want you to know how much you are valued. This path I walk, I cannot walk it without you. I'm only able to press onward because I have you to open the way. There will always be a place for you by my side.
Are you certain there are no changes you wish to inform me of? I must insist that you hide nothing from me.
What? But I just said I'm not... Hubert, are you truly so incapable of accepting a simple word of thanks? It seems I'm alone. Are you here, little one? Aw, were you waiting for me? You're a good kitty, aren't you? Guess who brought you some fish? Hey, easy there. No need to wolf it down. Oh, you want more? Well, just stay put while I...
Edelgard? Oh, fascinating. I never imagined I'd run into you in a place like this.
Linhardt, this is a surprise. What are you even doing here?
I was having a nap over there. Such is the price for pulling so many all-nighters, though I pay it gladly.
Over there, as in, right over there? Immediately so? Does that mean you saw... Ow!
Well, well. A cat. Does it live here?
How How should I know? I've certainly never seen it before this very moment.
Really? Because it seems quite used to you.
Yes, it... Oh, come out with it already. If you have something to say, just speak and stop this interminable dance.
No, no. In fact, I like cats as well. Especially ones that live near people.
You, a cat person. I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Why not? I find them charming. You have to admire the way they draw people in with their cuteness, only to be waited on hand and foot.
Linhard, people don't take care of cats just because they're cute. Cats rid us of rodents and other vermin. They are fine pets who bring much solace to their owners. As I see it, people and cats have a good relationship because we do things for each other.
Well, I wonder how the cats see it. Because it appears to me that they're just doing things their way and don't really care about anyone else. Now there's a charmed existence. Live as selfishly as you like and have people lavish you with praise and affection for it. Not to mention they'll never run out of food.
Which just shows how much people value them. What does it matter if they're being selfish? To be honest, I'm surprised you have an opinion about cats at all. Have you owned one previously? Because I could use your advice if so.
Please, do I look like the sort of person to take on that kind of responsibility?
You do not, hence my surprise.
Ah, wait, now I get it. I was wondering why you were being so cross with me. You're thinking about keeping this cat. But the implication that cats and I both want to lead the same easy life spoils the idea for you.
What? I mean... Yes, that's it. You've caught me. Linhard, listen. If you aspire to be a pet, that is your decision and yours alone. However, if you expect people to bend over backward for you, the least you can do is work for it. The problem with you is that you always...
Please, Your Majesty, let's not do this now.
No,
Look,
stop.
the kitty cat wants you to snuggle-wuggle.
Ah, what a lovely breeze. Truly, there is nothing so liberating as the great outdoors.
Your Majesty, Hubert is looking for you. My apologies. I didn't realize you were resting.
I only stepped out for a bit of fresh air. I'll be ready to return shortly.
Oh no! Please don't rush back on my account. I am more than happy to keep Hubert occupied in the meantime. Please, Your Majesty, enjoy yourself. I'll simply tell him I failed to find you. Ah, and are you cold? I can bring you a coat and some hot tea.
I appreciate the concern, Monica, but I'm quite all right. But while you're here, there is something I must tell you.
Why are you staring at me, Your Majesty? Is there something on my face?
I was only going to say how fortunate we are to have you with us. Those who slither in the dark had you in their clutches. In another world, we might have lost you to them forever.
Yes, it seemed they were only keeping me alive so they could use me for some kind of dark ritual. And I can only assume that would not have ended with me alive and well. You saved my life. I wish I could express what an honor it was to be personally rescued by the woman I've dedicated my entire life to.
That's kind of you to say, but I only did it because I needed the military leverage.
That doesn't matter.
I'm serious when I say that the day you rescued me was the day I stopped simply idolizing you and decided you were the one for me.
The one for you?
Yes, you risked your life to protect a lowly noble like me.
You need to understand the situation, Monica. I was fully prepared to sacrifice you if doing so would bring me even one step closer to achieving my goals. I had no intention of rescuing you until right before the opportunity presented itself.
Oh, but, why not?
I was under the impression that those who slither in the dark needed you quite badly. And as I required their strength to wage my war, I was prepared to look the other way. When we laid out our plans, your death was something we took as a given.
All the same, you still chose to save me in the end. I don't care how you got to that decision, only that you did. You could have offered me up as a bargaining chip, but you chose not to. Instead, you closed that door just so I could be standing here today.
Monica, I
only get one life, and I can't tell you how lucky I am to share it with you. It is my destiny to walk beside you, and that makes me happier than you could ever know.
Well, thank you. That means a lot.
Lord Hubert, we've located what appears to be an enemy scouting party in the forest near our base.
This is certainly a matter of concern. We will need to make immediate preparations to...
But the one who located them was... Caspar.
Ah, I see. Then what of our casualties? Also, did we manage to capture any of the enemy?
We've 3 lightly wounded, including Caspar. And I fear none were taken alive.
I suppose such things are wont to occur when charging headlong into the fray.
Hey, Hubert! Did you hear how I cleared out a few enemy spies?
I did indeed. And on top of getting several people injured, you failed to capture any of said spies. Had you first called for reinforcements before leaping into action, that could have been avoided.
And what if they'd gotten away while we waited? Also, didn't you say it was fine when my old man did the same thing before?
Reinforcements would be nothing but a hindrance to Count Burgley's. If he could not handle something himself, additional soldiers would do nothing more. Besides, he would not have suffered even the slightest injury in the process.
Hey, I'm barely scratched. Ah, forget it. I'll win your respect next time for sure.
Why do you ever insist on hurling yourself into danger at every opportunity? Clearly, some of the reason lies in your desire for military accolades, and yet... Let us take this most recent incident, for example. Had you summoned reinforcements, you would likely have received more plaudits for it. The capture of an enemy spy would have been a nice feather in your cap, as would coming home with fewer injured comrades.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. All I can say is that my gut told me to attack and I listened. And it wasn't a terrible result, so what's the problem?
The problem is whether or not your gut continues to avail you. If this instinct of yours is wrong even a single time, you will find a mound of dirt over your head.
Don't talk like that, Hubert. I might be aggressive, but I'm not angling to end up dead.
Your untimely demise would make trouble for me as well. I just think of the critical military manpower I would be sacrificing. Yet, at the same time, you and your gut mucking up carefully laid plans is cause for no less chagrin.
Ah, you think too much, you know that? I mean, if you want to make a name for yourself on the battlefield, you kinda have to accept the risk of death. I made the choice to distinguish myself in war in spite of that. But hey, you know what? If you think I'm gonna kick the bucket, go ahead and work that into your plans. Look, I know I'm your critical military manpower or whatever it was you said, but sometimes you've gotta win whether you have that manpower or not. Like I said, I'm not aiming to get myself killed, but I also know there are no guarantees in battle. Anyway, I figure that's gotta be the best way to make sure I don't end up being a burden for you. Oh, it's time for training. Gotta run, Hubert.
Placing your fate into my hands, are you? They say it is a fine line that separates the saint from the buffoon. How right they are.
I wonder when I'll be able to return to Enbar.
Greetings, Dorothea. I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, you're fine. I was just having myself a little think. So, what do you need?
I come with a matter involving the opera company of which you were once a member.
What's wrong? What happened?
Nothing drastic, I assure you. A letter addressed to you arrived, and finding myself with a moment to spare, I decided to deliver it personally. And as I was also hoping to speak with you about the company, the trip serves a dual purpose.
Okay, don't scare me like that, Hubert. I figured something awful had happened since you were coming here in person.
My apologies. Let your heart be at ease. Now then, I wish to discuss the matter of your return to the opera company.
I'm pretty sure I said I wasn't going back.
That is not what I refer to. Well, it is and it isn't. You have no love of violence, and in fact care little enough for it that the mere sight of someone in pain nearly rends your poor heart in two. Further, I am aware that you received numerous invitations to return to the company. Despite that, you continue to remain here on the front lines of the war. I find this choice curious.
Okay, that's a fair point. I honestly have given some thought about returning to the company. Touring across the land with them and using music to heal weary hearts sounds wonderful. And if I did make that choice, it would be a different way to help Edelgard and everyone else. You agree, right?
Indeed. I should think it terribly useful work.
But even so, I can't abandon the actual fight when all of you are still here. The thought of being safe and sound while my friends risk their lives isn't something I'm comfortable with. Does that make sense?
It does. And I even share your feelings to a degree. However, we could always summon your opera company to the front so that you could use your diva talents to motivate our troops. Surely you have considered this possibility?
You really see through everything, Hubie. It's vexing. But fine, there's another reason. I want to support Adi as a commoner. If I were here in the position of an opera diva, I wouldn't be treated like one anymore. I want to be here fighting as a representative of the peasant class. However selfish it might be, I feel this is the best way to help Adie as she tries to erase the gap between nobles and commoners.
Well, this is a surprise. You choose the path of hardship for the sake of your emperor. Truly, I have undersold your resolve.
Oh, but there is one more reason.
Still more.
There are quite a few young nobles here. Dependable ones with quality futures ahead of them. And they're a lot more attractive than the doormats who flutter about us divas in the capital.
Yes, that does seem important. You are stronger than I gave you credit for, Dorothea. And you have earned my respect this day. Ah, Petra. Fancy running into you here. How are you acclimating to life in Her Majesty's army? We are constantly traveling all across Fodlan, so I'm sure there is a lot to adjust to.
I find myself being cold often, but the others have shown great kindness in telling me what to expect. I have no troubles.
Marvelous. I want nothing more than for you to fit in and feel comfortable. Know that there is a permanent place for you in this army, if you so desire.
No, I will be returning to Brigid when the war is finished. I am going to be queen. That day is approaching with quickness.
Yes, I am very much aware. And upon your coronation, Brigid will be released from its vassalage to the Empire. Her Majesty and your grandfather have agreed to this in secret.
For having consideration of Brigid's interests, I give Lady Edelgard and Duke Gert my gratitude.
As I understand it, the Minister of Foreign Affairs pursued this particular policy most vigorously. He has met with far more success, now that Lord Arundel is no longer around to impede him. I might even go so far as to say the Duke looks like a new man.
A new man? No, he's still being the same man.
Well, yes. I suppose you have me there. Regardless, I do hope that you can forgive us. Though we would very much like to make our agreement with Brigid public, doing so now would be most unwise.
I have understanding. The war of 7 years ago still has freshness in the minds of many. You do not want to give them cause for anger when this war has not reached its finish yet.
I'm glad you appreciate the situation, as I was certain you would.
But all in Brigid have knowledge of our agreement. Every man, woman, and child. If it is broken, they will have knowledge of that as well. Blood would be spilling.
Petra? Was that a threat?
Not a threat, a concern. I know I can place trust in the word of the Empire. The Emperor would never be breaking a promise. Would she, Hubert?
What? I beg your pardon, Queen Petra. Clearly I failed to realize that you had already ascended the throne. Rest assured, our promise will be kept. If Her Majesty and yourself are any example, the Empire and Brigid will support each other and walk into the future side by side.
And I have certainty that you will be there, witnessing it.
How are you finding your time in the Imperial Army?
Pretty normal, I guess. It's nice to be around a lot of people I don't know.
Excellent. For if you were dissatisfied, it could lead to an accident. And I would find that most vexing.
Oh, I have my dissatisfactions. Like the way you're talking to me right now, for starters. But if I sighed over every little thing that bothered me, I'd be dead before I took another breath.
Yes, quite true. By the by, have you considered my proposition? Though I am loath to discuss it, I am a firm believer in using every resource to its utmost.
I don't know. It feels pretty unethical, even if it is technically something we can do. And did you spare a single thought for how I might feel being used like that?
I actually made the proposal based on my estimation of your feelings. I imagine you would enjoy sighing for a greater cause, seeing as you are never able to unleash them freely.
And why exactly would I want to sigh, huh?
As I am not you, I have no answer to that question. I simply thought it might be unpleasant. Being the only one prohibited from performing an action others do as a matter of course, that is.
Right. Well, no, it isn't. And if you're really approaching this thing without considering my feelings, you're so far off the mark I don't know what to tell you.
My, I just thought the woman would enjoy breathing a literal sigh of relief. And to do so in a way where our forces make use of the monster she summons, where is the harm? Alas, I suspect I am in for another mocking at the hands of Her Majesty for how often people mistake me for a heartless cad.
The Bert? Again? Ugh.
Happy. Now that you are calmer, I thought perhaps we might share some tea and treats. But if you're not interested, I am content to deal with them myself.
You really want me to buy into this plan of yours, huh? I told you, the answer's no. Now stay away from me.
I assure you, I have no such ulterior motive here.
Liar.
Yes. Well, I can see any further conversation will be fruitless. In that case, I bid you good day. Had I known this would all be for me, I would have made coffee instead of tea.
Huh? What's coffee?
It does not concern you. Pray forgive my intrusion.
Yeesh. Just being near that guy makes me want to sigh.
Is something wrong, Ferdinand? You're staring quite intently at those plants while you water them.
I was merely reflecting on something I saw long ago in Enbar.
Oh? What would that be?
In truth, it is nothing noteworthy. Back when I was a child, I saw a water nymph dancing and singing in a fountain along the main street. She was radiant, brilliant in the dewy light of the sun. But as an immature young lad, I grew embarrassed and ran away.
Wait a minute. That sounds familiar.
And you're sure of what you saw? A water nymph?
Absolutely. Her song resonated within me. It was a bucolic tune sung by common folk around the capital. As I recall, she had not been wearing so much as a scrap of clothing. Anyway, once I finally mustered up the courage to return, the nymph had vanished.
Such a tale hardly seems possible.
That's the reason Ferdy ran away that day? No way. I've been wrong about him this whole time? I mean, considering how I must have looked in that fountain... Oh no. I can't even begin to face him right now. I have to go back.
Is that Dorothea? I wonder what she's doing over there.
He's seen me. All right, Dorothea, just be calm. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Why, if it isn't Ferdy and 80, what a coincidence to bump into the two of you here.
Dorothea, your face is red.
Yes, indeed it is. Do you have a fever?
Really? I feel fine, but... Well, I was just coming to check on things, but since it all checks out, I'll be going. Bye!
Wait, you could suddenly take a turn for the worse. So, I will escort you back.
No, I'm fine. I'm not going far.
Yet still too far to travel alone. If something were to happen to you, it would already be too late. Come now, take my arm. Or if it please you, I could carry you there.
Enough! I am perfectly fine, so just mind your own business and stay away from me.
No one appreciates obstinance, Ferdinand.
Apologies. Although, given the intensity of her rebuff, I worry she may not have liked me to begin with. Have I committed some grave wrong against her? What should I do? Ah, Petra. Just the lady I have been looking for.
Are you needing something, Ferdinand?
Why, yes, I do need something. Ravishing lady, princess from a foreign land, how sharp and true the swords you hold in your hand. Wilt thou not spar with me? How was that? Did I do it correctly? I want to be certain I understood the Brigid way.
What?
You see, I was perusing a book on your customs the other day. It was there that I came across a description of the proper way in which to make a request of members of the Brigid royal family. Apparently, one is supposed to improvise their need in the form of a song while performing a small jig or rondo. I find it to be a most lovely tradition.
I am not knowing of this tradition.
You do not know it? But I am correct that song and dance are very important in your homeland, yes?
Yes, that is a truth. We are often singing and dancing as tribute to the spirits.
Then it has nothing to do with the royal family?
Now I have understanding. Something has gotten lost inside of the translation. The ruler of Brigid is often asking the spirits for protection. This involves singing and dancing both. The members of the royal family are not witnessing the performance, they are doing the performance. Also, it is for special occasions only. No one bursts into a song with suddenness. That is strange.
Yes, I am discovering that for myself. I was convinced that Brigid must have some manner of odd custom that defies Fodlan convention.
Ferdinand, what land of silliness are you thinking I am from?
What? No, this is all going quite horribly. This is what I deserve for trusting that ridiculous book.
Do not be worrying. Even books of greatness may contain mistakes. I once was reading that all Fodlan nobles are born in wells. Can you be imagining?
That is a ridiculous notion.
It was even within the title. Fodlan's Nobility, a day in the life of the wellborn.
Petra, wellborn is actually a word. It means one who is born into a noble bloodline.
I am knowing that, Ferdinand. I was having a joke. I am not breaking into songs and dances, but I am breaking out the dictionary when I have the need.
A joke? I must say, this is quite surprising, Petra. You are unearthing my ignorance in spades today. This is twice you have made me dine on dirt in a single conversation.
Unearth? Spades? Dirt! Ah, I am understanding. You are having cleverness.
Well, no, that was merely a coincidence, but I am glad you enjoyed it.
There you are, Lynn.
Oh, Dorothea. How unusual. I didn't expect to see you in a place like this.
It's not unusual when I've been looking for you literally everywhere. You skipped out on the War Council meeting this morning, and 80 was livid.
Yes, something came up that required pulling an all-nighter 2 nights in a row, so I had some sleep debts to repay.
Next time, maybe spare a thought for the person who'll get stuck having to track you down. We discussed important matters in the meeting, you know. There was some kind of accident, and now we're experiencing a delay on supplies.
And now we need to ration our food? It's a pain, but these things happen. In the worst case, we're supposed to be considering ways to forage for food ourselves, right? I suppose I can handle it if we need to fish, but I'll have to pass on tromping through the fields and mountains to harvest wild whatevers.
Wait, how do you know all this? You weren't even at the meeting, were you?
Because I had someone who attended take notes for me.
Wait, you had someone...
More importantly, you should go to Her Majesty and propose a review of our supply logistics. Considering our current position on the front lines, we should break up the transportation of provisions along multiple routes. It may cost a little more to split things up, but it'll allow us to avoid situations like this. Overall, it should provide many benefits, and the plan will be viable for use in future campaigns too.
Wow.
Dorothea?
This sort of thing really gets your brain going, huh? Still, I wish you'd just go to the meetings and share all of these opinions. People would be thrilled at your resourcefulness, you know.
Oh, I'm quite happy with things the way they are. Attending meetings would only add to my headaches.
You can only run from this for so long, Lynn. And sure, I'll propose what you asked me to, but I'm going to do so in your name.
Wait, are you serious?
Oh, very much so. I couldn't possibly take the credit for something you thought up, right?
I suppose that's fair. I can feel the headaches forming already.
Sand, rain, river? Is he writing of the weather?
Are you all right, Petra? That's quite the noise that just came flying out of your diaphragm.
Linhardt, perhaps you can be helping me. This letter is giving me much difficulty.
A letter, is it? I was under the impression that you had no trouble reading the language of Fodlan.
I also had that thought, but this page is not making sense. Can you be reading it for me?
What? Oh no, I couldn't. This is a private matter. I mean, I don't even know who it's from.
But I cannot be writing back if I do not know what they are saying. Please, do this favor for me.
Oh, very well. Let me have a look. Goodness, no wonder you struggled with this. It couldn't be more archaic. Right, well, let me give this a shot. Yon world is endless sand, and I but a parched grain air upon its bosom. O beauty! Was it the western wind which brought thee hither, merciful rain? Soft, my river o'erfloweth. Petra, is this a love letter?
That is a possibility, but I do not have certainty.
Okay, you definitely should have mentioned that before I started reading this. Well, too late now, I suppose.
Indeed. I am blaming the letter. If no one can have understanding of it, the writer is a waster of paper.
Well, it's not that I don't understand so much as... Look, let me just give this back to you.
You have understanding? You must be teaching me.
Oh, very well. The writer is using archaic speech to express his love for you through metaphor. So much so that I would say they have gone and spoiled the whole thing.
So he has passion? I am pleased, although I have little knowledge of the letter's writer.
Really? From what he's written here, it sounds as if he sees you every day. Also, the letter is absolutely rife with mistakes. Take this passage, for example. I think he mentioned the western wind in an effort to evoke Brigid, but it's actually the southern wind that brings rain. Besides which, the merciful rain is a gift from the goddess. This paramour of yours shouldn't be tossing such sacrilegious comparisons about. And I won't even ask how a grain can be parched, let alone turn into an overflowing river.
The words have richness and color. I wish I could be reading them as well as you.
Trust me, it's nothing special. Well-crafted writing has layers. This just has apostrophes. So, are you planning to write him back?
This has been a most painful lesson of how little I am knowing. I must be reading many books to study the old speech of Fodlan before making my reply.
I sure hope she doesn't plan on writing him back in the same style, or they're going to end up talking right past each other.
Linhardt, you skipped the War Council meeting again. If you have any pride at all as a noble, it would behoove you to start acting like one.
I have pride. Some, at least. But speaking of noble comportment, I seem to remember a certain someone who obeyed the church for a time and opposed the Empire.
Your tongue cuts like 1,000 sharpened blades. Nonetheless, I did what was required for survival. My dream of regaining my family status would be forever lost were I to perish, and I cannot permit such a thing to come to pass. All I do is for the sake of House Nouvelle's revival.
That's lovely and all, but...
It is not lovely.
As the tale goes, House Nouvelle had passed down the crest of Macule for many generations.
Cease your endless yammering and listen to me.
So I am forced to wonder why it is that you, a legitimate heir to the family, do not possess said crest. What's more, in its place you have the crest of Noah, who was one of the 4 apostles. Has your house stymied and deceived Imperial investigations for generations? And if so, how?
If you aren't going to listen to me, I refuse to even entertain answering that question.
Well, I've grown tired of speaking, so we'll have to continue this another time. Good night.
Wait, no, I'll answer you. Just don't treat me like dirt trodden underfoot.
Then, by all means. Perhaps in the course of your explanation, something of use to House Nouvelle's restoration will crop up.
I would like that very much. Well then, to be frank, it is said that Saint Noah is an ancestor of House Nouvelle. The saint feared her crest, already rare even in her time, could prove a source of utter calamity. As such, she forged a magic that tricked crest investigation devices and aided her descendants.
Fascinating. And is there anything else regarding Saint Noah?
Your disdain is palpable. Now, does any of that sound of use to restoring my house or not?
I cannot say. I must hear the rest first.
You realize it would be bothersome in the extreme if I told you everything and none of it was helpful, yes? If you wish to hear more, I must have a guarantee it will provide something I can use.
What a bother.
Hey, Bernadetta. I'm sorry about before.
No, I'm the one who should be sorry. Forgive me.
Huh? No, I'm the one who wants you to forgive me. Did you hear me apologize just now?
If I forgive you, will you forgive me? Then I forgive you. Please just let me live in peace.
After what happened, I went to Edelgard and asked her what I should do. She told me not to do anything and just to apologize. So I'm gonna figure out something I can get for you to make this right.
No, I don't need anything! Oh, rats, he's gone. I have a bad feeling about this.
Look, Bernadetta, I got you all your favorite foods.
Thank you? But, I think there's enough food here for 10 people, so...
Food is a foundation for building your body. If you train 3 times harder, you gotta eat 3 times as much. I mean, that's just science. And don't worry, if you can't eat it all, I'm happy to scarf down the rest.
Okay, so I can't actually train 3 times harder. And even if I did, I sure couldn't eat 3 times as much.
Look, Bernadetta, I took the bow you use for training and replaced it with an extra strong one. Oh, and don't worry, I won't interfere with your training. I learned my lesson last time.
Wow, this does look strong. Let's just... Oh, come on! I can't even pull the bowstring back! How am I supposed to train with this thing? Caspar?
Hey there, Bernadetta. What's up?
Listen, I wanted to talk to you about all the stuff you're doing to apologize.
Oh, yeah? Say, how's that training coming?
Lousy! So please, stop apologizing already!
What? But I softened up the training so it was way less than what I'd do myself.
Softer? What kind of training do you even do?
Well, for starters, I go 15 times harder than everyone else here. But of course, I don't have 15 times as many hours in my day, so instead, I do 3 times the amount, 5 times as fast. As for food, I generally need to wolf down about 6 times as much as everyone else because of how hungry all my training makes me.
Okay, you're not human.
Oh, and when I train with a bow, I use one with a string pulled 5 times as taut as normal.
Oh, right, I get it! Your training is ridiculous.
You think it's ridiculous? But my father came up with it, and he's the Minister of Military Affairs.
Well, if he's the standard you're aspiring to, then no wonder that's how it is.
Huh. You know, I never considered that my father got so strong because of how unusual his training regimen is.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but your routine is definitely not normal.
But I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Hey, good luck with that! This war is getting more brutal with each passing day. If I don't learn to adapt, I'll never survive. Maybe if I work on my bow skills, I can get good enough to fight from a safe distance. I wonder if Petra would teach me. I mean, she doesn't hate me, so that must mean we sort of get along.
You are needing my help, Bernadetta?
Ah! Petra! Were you there this whole time?
For enough time. I am also thinking we are getting along.
You do? Aw, Petra! But I mean, I actually could use your help. I want to get better with the bows, so I was thinking maybe you could give me some intensive training? But I mean, you really don't have to. It's fine.
Of course! It would give me delight. But there is one concern I am having.
Oh, it's the fact that I'm horribly untalented, isn't it?
No, you are not without talent. I have seen you being very light upon your feet. But it is only when you are feeling threatened. So, for you to have the greatest improvement, I must be giving you fear when I am training you.
Okay. But maybe you could be threatening in a non-threatening way?
That could be done, but then you would not be having improvement. Terror is what you are needing for this.
I don't think I like the sound of that.
Then we must be forgetting this idea. I do not want your heart to be giving out.
Hey, come on! I'm not completely afraid of applying myself, you know?
If we are doing this intensive training, you will have to be facing the trial of wind. I am thinking you lack the readiness you need.
The trial of wind? You know what? Do your worst. My heart can take whatever you dish out and chew it into little tiny pieces.
Very well. Once we have our beginning, I will not relent. I hope you have offered your prayers today.
On second thought, maybe we should discuss this just a little more before we... Gotta save me! Petra, enough! Cease! Your arrows are just one big blur!
Now it is time for seriousness. 100 arrows from behind.
I thought we were already serious! Is this the afterlife? Am I dead?
You have done it, Bernadetta!
You are the survivor of Bridget's fearsome trial by wind.
What does that even mean?
This training is meant to be testing our resolve, just as the spirits do. Warriors of Bridget who are surviving the trial receive the blessings of the wind spirits. You have passed. Now the spirits will be with you always, and guiding your arrows.
I passed? Yes! You go, Bernie! But actually, I'm just happy to get your approval here. It feels nice.
It is the approval of the wind spirits, not mine. But I am sharing in your happiness all the same.
Looks like there's lots of bugs around here. Go on and eat a bunch and grow nice and big plants.
Hey, Bernie B. Doing a little garden care?
Huh? Oh, yes. Do you need something, Happy? Oh, wait. Are you here to finish me off and turn me into fertilizer? No! I'm completely devoid of nutritional content. I'm basically just air.
No, but if you want to be fertilizer that badly, I'm certain it could be arranged. I just wanted to mention how I'm surprised to find carnivorous plants growing here. I was curious who was taking care of them, and now I seem to have found my answer.
Yeah, carnivorous plants are my favorites.
And mine as well. I had no idea we were such kindred spirits.
That's so great! I never thought I'd find another carnivorous plant lover in all of Falkland. Yay!
You really don't need to yell like that. So, which one do you like best, Bernie B? There's a lot to consider after all. The aroma, the texture, the way you prepare it.
Oh yeah! Some smell nice and some are just soft as all get out. But the way they're prepared? Like how you take care of them? I suppose there's a lot of variance there too.
Indeed. So of the ones here, which is your favorite?
Maybe this one. The one that looks like a jug.
I like that one as well. It smells divine. And the experience really changes depending on what kind of berries you stuff it with.
Can't say I've ever thought to stuff it full of berries, but I definitely see how that would change things. Oh, but I also like this one here with the leaves that act like a mouth. They're so teensy and cute, and they blossom with white flowers. I could just stare at them all day.
Interesting. I always pick them before the flowers can bloom, so I didn't know that. Aren't the buds wonderful? Of course, wrapping with leaves is great too.
Yeah, the buds are unusual. I love them, and it's fun watching the leaves move. I'm happy you like watching them as much as me.
Watching?
Huh?
In any case, now we know we like the same ones. We should have a bite together next chance we get. Anyway, I have to be off. See ya!
Yep, next time we'll go out together and, get something to eat? I guess that sounds nice.
At last, we come face to face.
Constance, is something...
Listen here, there's no need to dance around me, for I bear you no ill will.
I am having confusion. What are you speaking of?
I speak of the bad blood between Bridget and the Empire, of course.
Ah, the war. I am having my own feelings about.
Surely you are aware that it was your father who invaded the lands of House Nouvelle, which I once called home. It was his aggressions which cost me my family, my friends, my land, everything. However, your father and many of your countrymen paid for this in the coin of their own lives. Furthermore, neither you nor I took part in that foolish conflict. Therefore, there is no merit to our dredging up the past. We need not be at each other's throats. Have I made myself clear? Good. Now farewell.
Constance has a personality of much color. I was not given a chance to give her my reply. I cannot be leaving things like this. I must be telling her that I have understanding. Constance? I am wanting to talk to you about what you were saying before.
Greetings, Petra. I fear I caused you undue distress. Please accept my humblest apologies for the offense. One from my meager and reduced circumstances has no right to insult a woman of your royal standing. As galling as this must be after the fact, I humbly beg your forgiveness.
You can have my forgiveness, although I was not taking any offense.
Oh, what overflowing kindness! Truly, your mercy is too good for a wretch such as I. But I should not expect aught else from one capable of ruling an entire people. You are a mighty boulder, and I, but a pebble by the wayside.
Let me speak, Constance, please. I am knowing that our relationship is complicated. I think about this every day. It is filling my heart with pain and confusion. But you had the braveness to say what I could not.
Stop, I beg you. You will crush my sad and pathetic frame under the weight of such undeserved compliments. I think it best if I keep my own counsel from now on. Pray pay my ramblings no mind. Oh my, now I have been so presumptuous as to tell you what to do. Please excuse me while I go crawl under a rock.
I am not understanding what happened here. Which Constance should I be believing?
Oh, is that? If I didn't know any better, I'd say you're getting along great with the soldiers now. Maybe it's because they can finally see your face.
I have never been concerned with how others view me. But if you say so, then perhaps it's true. You have always been perceptive, even back at Garreg Mach.
My, you flatter me. I'm honored you noticed me at all. Yes, that's it. All we need is that one finishing touch.
Finishing touch?
Yes, there's something you're missing. Do you know what it is, Yuritsa? Too bad, time's up. The answer is... a smile. Yes, nothing makes people feel safer than a nice set of pearly whites. Don't get me wrong, your cool demeanor has a certain charm. But if you smile like I do, people will be naturally drawn to you. It would also make it easier to talk to your peers and subordinates. Wouldn't you like that?
No.
Oh, no need to be shy. It couldn't hurt, right? And it doesn't just work on people. Animals will be more comfortable around you, too.
Animals. Like cats.
Of course! Cats, dogs, even fish. They'll all flock to you in droves.
Fish.
Sounds good, right? Now, when it comes to smiling, the important thing is to move your mouth. And your demeanor will suffer if you're always mumbling, so keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's try it out. Give me your best shot on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It seems being a teacher was your calling.
A teacher? That's not really what I was going for. This must be why I'm still single.
I don't think you need to change.